In today's topic, we will be covering Lesson 2.2, Business Ownership, found in our Intro to Business textbook. The goals are to describe the 9 forms of business ownership and to identify 5 business management activities. Forms of ownership include common forms, sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, other forms franchises, cooperatives, nonprofit corporations, joint ventures, S corporations, limited liability company. A business owned and operated by just one person is called a sole proprietorship. A business owned and managed by a small group, often not more than 2 or 3 people, who have entered into an agreement is called a partnership. A business owned by a number of people and operated under written permission from the state that charters it is called a corporation. United States business ownership. Sole proprietorships 18.9 million, corporations 5.3 million, partnerships 2.2 million. A franchise is a written contract granting permission to a business person to sell someone else's product or service. The contract spells out the duties and rights of the parties to the contract. The parties to the contract are when it comes to owning a business. Many people think buying a franchise is a good way to get started. There are many franchising opportunities available, but you should proceed cautiously before buying. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of owning a franchise? Why is it important to research a franchise before buying? The franchisee, the business owner who is buying the rights, and the franchisor, the parent company, that grants the rights. Often included as part of the franchise agreement are the name of the business, the design and color of the building, the location of the business, and the uniforms of the employees. Franchises may be operated as sole proprietorships, partnerships, or corporations. Franchises are a popular way of doing business. The franchisee maintains the daily operations and receives the profits of the business, but must pay a franchise fee along with a percentage of the profits to the franchisor. Successful franchises include KFC, Wild Birds Unlimited, McDonald's, Jiffy Lube, Mary Maids, and Mailboxes Ed. A business owned by the members it serves and managed in their interests is called a cooperative. There are 2 main types of cooperatives. In a consumer's cooperative, consumers buy goods and services together at lower prices than each person could buy individually. They also share in the cooperative's profits. A producer's cooperative, usually a farm organization, gives the producers greater bargaining power in selling their products and allows them to be more competitive in the marketplace. A cooperative is much like a corporation. Its formation must be approved by the state. It may sell 1 or more shares of stock to each of its members. A board of directors may be chosen to direct the business. Profits earned may be refunded to members at the end of the business year. Part of the profit is normally kept for business expansion. Corporations that are created for social, political, charitable, educational, or general welfare purposes are known as nonprofit corporations. Examples are private colleges and universities and agencies such as the YMCA and the American Red Cross. Nonprofit organizations provide a service, and earning a profit is not their primary goal. They are free from corporate income taxes and can receive grants and donations from individuals and businesses. As with other corporations, they must organize as a corporation, and the government must approve their purpose and operations. Nonprofits file annual reports to the government to maintain their nonprofit status. You may live in an incorporated town. A municipal corporation, or municipality, is a nonprofit corporation that can operate much like a city, but is not governed under a charter granted by the state. It levies taxes, passes rules and regulations, provides police and fire protection, and provides a variety of services for its citizens. Unlike a business corporation, no stock is issued, and revenues are from taxes rather than profits. Joint ventures, an agreement between 2 or more companies to share a business project, is known as a joint venture. It is a type of partnership that includes sharing of profits as well as sharing of control among the partners. This can include the sharing of raw materials, shipping facilities, management activities, and production facilities. Manufacturing companies often find joint ventures to be useful. A good example is the joint venture between the Ford Motor Company and the Japanese Mazda Motor Corporation. Mazda produced parts that the Ford Motor Company used in its cars, and Mazda set up assembly plants for Ford Motor vehicles. Joint ventures between Japanese and U.S. automobile manufacturers have become common. Limited liability company. A kind of corporation that is worldwide, but relatively new in the United States, is a limited liability company, LLC. LLCs are allowed by state statutes and first appeared in the United States in 1977. By 1996, nearly all states had enacted a statute allowing the existence of LLCs. A National Uniform Limited Liability Company Act was adopted in 1996 and was revised in 2006. A limited liability company, LLC, combines the best features of a corporation and a partnership. It provides liability protection for the owners, but does not require a complex set of organizational and operating requirements such as those needed for a corporation. A simple set is all that is needed. Articles of incorporation or bylaws also are not required. Only a simple document, much like a partnership agreement, needs to be developed. For a business to be successful, someone must plan, organize, staff, lead, and control its operations. Managers are responsible for performing or coordinating those activities. In a small business, the owner often performs all of these activities. The process of thinking, gathering, and analyzing information, as well as making decisions about all phases of the business, is called planning. Goals and standards are set for the business, and strategies and measurements are established for achieving them. Some managers spend too much time on day-to-day operations, and fail to spend enough time on planning. That is a problem in many businesses, but especially in sole proprietorships. Organize. The process of determining what work has to be done, and who is to do it, is called organizing. An important part of organizing is assigning work to employees and observing employees as they perform their jobs. Responsibility is given to certain people to see the jobs are done correctly. In large businesses, organization charts are often drawn up to show worker relationships and lines of authority and responsibility. Staffing includes the many activities involved in finding, selecting, hiring, training, evaluating, and rewarding employees. There are many laws and regulations regarding employees' rights that must be known and followed by all sizes of businesses. For example, the person responsible for interviewing potential employees must be aware of what can and cannot be asked in the interview. Employment agencies can be helpful in assisting small business owners in locating potential employees. Lead. It is important that employees are directed in their work so that they perform their tasks correctly and in a timely manner. This activity is called leading. People should be guided to perform according to plans and procedures of the business, so that the work that they do is productive. Effective leaders can inspire workers to perform work tasks efficiently and accept personal responsibility for achieving goals of the company. Good leaders make sure that their workers are recognized and rewarded for excellence. Control. When managers or supervisors compare what has been accomplished with what was planned, they are engaging in the process known as control. This involves determining whether or not operations are proceeding as planned. Standards are set up in the planning stage, and measurements are determined to track whether or not the standards are met. For instance, a business might set a standard for employees to handle 12 customer inquiry calls per hour. The control factor would be to know the actual number of calls handled per hour by each worker. Control is directly related to planning.